Okay, and welcome to another tutorial. Today we are going to be making a schematic component in LibrePcb. Alright, let's see. So the first thing we need to do is create a project because there are no projects. So we're going to go ahead and go up and select New Project. And we're going to call it Simple LED Circuit. Sounds good. Defaults, I'm going to leave defaults as they are. Fine with the main schematic and board at default. We won't get into that. Go ahead and hit finish. Alright, so looks like here's our circuit schematic editor. Here's our board editor. And we need to make a library. So let's see, let's move these out of the way. Figure out. Here's our simple circuit project. Oh, and there it is. Library manager. Go ahead and click it. Here's some pre-installed libraries that you can download. Oh, that's pretty cool. Alright, but I'm gonna go ahead and we're creating our own component, so we're gonna have to create our own local library. We gotta come up with a name. Oh, and here we can download directly from a zip file. Oh, interesting. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted by the tab. Alright, my component library? Nah, let's do LED simple circuit lib. That's really long. I try to keep the name shorter and more concise when I can, so I'm just gonna do LED lib. Alright, and then I can do a big description, so I'll just LED simple circuit library. Alright, I'm gonna leave the rest default, create library. Alright, now we're gonna open the library editor. Alright, let's see if I can get everything inside the window without going full screen. So I don't have, so if I need to tab out, it's a little bit easier. Man, it just wants to cut off that bottom. Alright. Finicky. Alright, let's see. Component symbols, components, package, categories. We're gonna go ahead and create the component, and we're gonna go ahead and name it, and then go ahead and click OK. Alright, and then let's see, next I'm gonna make symbol. Let's see, right click, new symbol. Alright, now we're gonna actually start building the schematic symbol. So we're doing a diode first. So let's put pins down. Usually start with pins. Alright. And just so you know, on most, there's a shortcut to rotating. And let's see, okay, pin 1. And just so you know, ooh, every time you click it, it just pulls out another pin. Interesting. Oh, when I right click, there were properties to rotate. There's also rotation right there. And there's my text alignment, so that's for moving the little pin names around. Alright, we're gonna rotate it 180. Oops, 90. Wrong one. Because you want the green circles out. The green circles out. The green circles are the point where the wires will connect. So it has to be facing out. Alright. Looks pretty good. Gonna go ahead and alright, just make sure I'm not missing anything. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom in to make this part easier. I'm going to make the standard triangle for a diode. Drop the line. And you could honestly leave it at there for a diode. The extra little lines are just signify a specific type of diode. I want to go ahead and put it in on this one. I'm going to change the grid, cut it in half. It's in millimeters. Hold on. I just like to make sure my numbers are correct. So I'd rather just double check my, so I don't have it. If you don't do it exactly, then it can cause problems when you're connecting components if they're off grid and not on a grid that works. Let's see, let's try this. Let's see. Yeah, that's too big. I'll put it way out to the side. I don't like the way that looks. I'm gonna go ahead and half my grid again. Oop, wrong button. 0.635. Alright, go ahead and delete these. Go ahead and redo it. This is just so it's a little bit smaller, a little bit cleaner, and doesn't take up the whole side of the diode. Alright, I like that better. Now we're going to put grid back to 2.54. You always want all of your components to be on the exact same grid. So even if you go in and kind of add some finesse, make sure that you set it back to the default 2.54. Or if you want to do 1.27 across your whole entire thing. Alright. Let's go ahead and add a value. Nope, we don't need a value because a diode doesn't have a value, but it will have a name. And this is the schematic name. It should be like D question mark. Let's see if we can do that. Alright. I did notice. Let's see, drag that over. There's value if you wanted to add it. Pins are good, looks good. So value is if you had a resistor or capacitor and you wanted to put like 100K for your resistance, you'd want the value there. Now, when you're creating a schematic component, usually you just leave the default as value with their extra curly braces, because usually it'll be filled out. You'll place the components. It should have something to increment itself, so it'll be like D1, D2, D3. And then you can input your own particular values. Some people like to have their library where each one has its own thing. Here's some messages. Okay, it wants me to choose a category. And then the text name. Okay, so it doesn't seem to like that I put a D in there. So some of them will allow you to do D question mark. D question mark will usually in most programs increment itself, but it looks like in this program its default for incrementing is just name. So I'm gonna have to change that to name. Let's see. I'm looking over here at these messages. Yeah, I think, see, it's saying missing text value. As soon as I pop that down, that error message goes away. The messages are in the bottom right corner. I kind of like that they did this, so this just helps you clean up your schematic and make sure you have everything. Yeah, it really doesn't like that I did. Let's see, name, not title, case. Alright. Pop name in there. Yep, it fixed it right away, so we're going to go ahead and delete this one and just repopulate it. It's just faster. Alright. Alright, that fixed itself, so we're good there. We're gonna go ahead and save. Alright, and then we're gonna go back. Everything looks good. Alright. We are gonna go back to LED lib, and now we're gonna create component. So they have a lot of steps on this one. Must be their way of trying to optimize it so that you can link different things to multiple symbols. So you can make the symbol once but link it to multiple components, which is kind of cool. So here's where I can put the prefix. I'm fine with that. So instead of putting the prefix D on the schematic itself, it's placed here. Alright. Where's my symbol? It should just be... let's try again. Should just be red LED. Red... Oh, there it is. Okay. Evidently I had to type it. I would assume it would just be there. Alright. So here's the component link. We're going to go ahead and add. We're going to go ahead and hit next. We only need it once. And then these are the pins, and we were requiring the pins. Alright, they're not connected. We're just going to connect them right now. This is just pin 1, pin 1, pin 2, pin 2. Those are their names. Alright, let's see what we need going on here. So we're requiring the nets, symbol variant, name. I don't think I have anything there. So this is the link to the double curly brace name. I'm just gonna leave it default. I already placed the D in over here on prefix, so we should be fine. Alright, let's go down to errors category. Let's fix. Okay, there's no category. Fix default values, say yes. Okay, just let it add in generic things there. Alright, so we got something going on. No category set. We don't need a value. Value D, no, because it's not the prefix, but that's fine, because I can change that. Alright, let's see. Okay. Looks right. Now we're going to create the package, which is the footprint. And the footprint will have 2 pins. Pin 1 and pin 2. Alright. We're going to zoom in. And we're going to... Sorry, I'm just checking some things, make sure. Alright. We're going to add pads. So right here's add through hole pad or surface mount pad. We want through hole because we picked the through hole component. Alright, we're just going to place pad 1, pad 2, and that's it. Alright, we're going to double click. Okay, these are just different types of pads: circle, rectangle, rounded rectangle. It's a standard hole size. This is where we'll need that data sheet to get all the dimensions correct. It is a plated hole. And I'm selecting from design rules, but you don't need solder paste for through holes. If you do it off your design rules, you can actually set up design rules so it knows every time that's what it's going to be. Alright. So, going down here, And the reason why I was changing position to 127 is because their pitch is 254 and we do everything off center. So the center origin 0, 0, we have to go 1.27 to the right and 1.27 to the left. So each pad will have to go one direction or the other. The hole diameter is 1.05. It was in the data sheet. So 1.05. Actually, it does show position here. Let's see, plated hole, clearances, custom, and then position negative 1.27. So now, if I measure between the two, oh, okay, that was not the position. Oops, let's try again. Okay, sorry, position is here, 1.27. And then double click the other one. And negative 1.27. We're gonna hit OK. Alright. So now we're gonna actually fix the pad size. So we got the through hole correct. And it's a standard pad. It's gonna be soldered. So we need the size. So we go back here. Data sheet. Where to go? Alright. So it's doing default size. It's usually about 20 mil over pad size. Alright. So standard, that's the same size. It's not going to be the same size. It's usually about like 0.25 over the pad size, depending on the class. So there's a class A, B, and C. So 0.25 mils over the size of the hole diameter. The hole diameter is 1.05. If you notice, it will not let you make a size for the pad that's smaller than the hole diameter, because that just doesn't make sense. So we're going to do 1.25, and we're going to add 20, I think I added 20 mils. So we do 1.25, yeah. You can, so this was a class B, I think is the 20 mil. You can go to a class A. You don't really need a class A. It has higher tolerances and everything. So 1.25 should do it. These are all part of the CID standard guidelines. We could go up to, I believe it's 40 mil over. So it'd be, instead of a 25, it'd be a 45. And that, I believe, is the class A. And basically, it just gives gives them more room to solder, basically. But when you don't have a lot of space, it's gonna be tight. All right, I also made, if you notice, one pin is square, one is circle. Square is just to help indicate that this is pin 1. That just makes it easier for assembly. All right, it's gonna have to have a name. We're also gonna have to add like a outline in there. I'll start with the name. All right, there's name. And we're gonna check. The name is on the top layer. We actually want it on the top. Ooh, there's top copper, solder paste, bottom, values. They call it values. So it should be on the top values. So usually that's a silk screen layer. I don't know why they call it values, but you can do it on the silk screen layer. Alright, now we're going to add the outline for the capacitor, about how big the capacitor goes out. This will be on the silk screen layer and on the top package outline. No, it should be top courtyard. There we go. So their names are a little different. I usually do it on the top, a courtyard layer, because that will be printed with PDFs. And then your top silk screen layer, which could be your top values for this case, or it could be the top legend. So we're going to go ahead and do top legend and top courtyard. We'll use those two layers. I'm going to change top values to top legends, and the reason why I'm doing that is so that when I select, yeah, I can put it on the top courtyard too. But when I select top legends, then it'll show all of it together instead of being on separate ones. Otherwise, you have to print out, make sure both layers are printed out correctly. Alright, I think we're gonna go ahead, change the grid real quick. Let's do 0.635, and we're gonna double check. Sorry, I'm double checking my pitch is 2.54. Okay, we're good there. I'm gonna go ahead and add a negative. Making sure 2.54. Just like to double check. So I'm going to go ahead and add a negative next to pin 1. This is just another indicator to say, hey, pin 1's over here. Sometimes you'll just see a dot. This is a diode, and this diode actually has a cathode pin, so it's specifically saying negative is just a little more informative. Because usually the diode, you'll sometimes see the diodes and they'll have a flat side with a circle. And that's indicating the same thing, cathode side. There's just a couple different ways to indicate it. We're going to put it on the same two layers that we put the circle, our little top silk screen layer, and our top courtyard. Courtyard's usually used for PDFs, and silk screen is for printing onto the board. Sorry, I'm trying to change the layers here. Top courtyard, and then pop it back over. Okay. And there we go. We're going to go ahead and save. And then we're going to sit here and look at what's going on. No category set. They're missing. Alright. Oh, look at that. Okay. Let's see. Good. Alright, we'll fix some of that stuff here shortly. Let's go to package categories. Let's go ahead and create new. So this is where it should have the correct footprint name. There we go. You can put it on this one, you can do the package category, or I could probably just do the component itself. But this is the footprint name. I'm just going to add some extra detail. That looks like all this needs. Yep, everything else is. Looks like you can even have keywords for searching. Got red package, and now we're going to do device. Let's see, fixed category. Alright, we're going to link it. Fix layer name. Okay, I'm just going to let it fix it. I don't need a value, so yeah, I don't really want to add a value because you don't need it. If you're unsure, you can just have it fixed. We got some problems with our category, saying the names are too similar. Alright, gotta do some renaming here. Let's fix this. Alright, I'm gonna change this. Red LED. Alright. I think I can leave that same name. Remove selection, add category. Okay, something's not quite right still. Let's see. Red LED. Let's see what's going on. Red LED maybe doesn't like the name. Ah, we got some endless recursion there. About to fix. Okay, let's just call it component category. Let's see. Category, yeah. Let's just put LED. Let's try to simplify it even more. Still having problems. Okay. Well, it's endless recursion. That's what's okay. That should be root category. And then now I can fix it. Okay. So that first one should be root. Oh, we got another category problem. LED. It's all part of the same category. Alright, looking good. Got our footprint. All that other stuff was fine. Alright. And it's funny with names. Okay. Let's fix title case. There we go. Alright, now it says everything looks good. It's all happy again. I think these two can have the same name. I think we're okay on that one. Wanted value, 3D models we're not doing. Alright, everything's looking good. Let's just go ahead and save. Right click, device, new. We're gonna do probably red LED, device. And alright, I have to select the component, LED, whoops. Okay, red LED. And the footprint, okay, makes sense. We're linking the schematic component to the footprint. Alright, let's connect the pins, pin 1 to pin 1, pin 2 to pin 2. These are part numbers, alright. It's a little hard to see, but it's part number and manufacturer name and attribute. So usually for this one, we'll want to do the, wait, let's pull it up real quick. We're going to want to do the, usually I do like the actual manufacturer part number name. So this is the actual manufacturer product number. Alright. And then, oops, I just put it in the wrong spot. It's so tiny. Alright, it should be in the first spot. Alright, and then we want the actual manufacturer's name, which is Broadcom Limited. Okay, and then usually I'll add a second one. Not worried about attributes. And the second one, I'll do the actual DigiKey part number. Because sometimes if you were ordering like a tape or a reel, sometimes they'll go through DigiKey and stuff. Usually they'll find the best part for you, but basically we're just gonna, this manufacturer's DigiKey. This is referencing the same part, just on DigiKey. Alright. String, value, key attribute. We're gonna leave that as D. Diode. It doesn't like question marks. And it does not current voltage or anything else, so it's just going to be a string. Totally fine with that. Don't need value. Alright, let's fix our little messages. Category, it's an LED. And case. Alright, there we go. Ta-da! And we're gonna save all again. Just gonna go back through, make sure everything looks good. I don't see any other messages going off. Alright, and that is how you create an LED component.